When you think of the early 2000s NBA, you think of isolation scoring taken to its extreme, of bruising and physical perimeter play, and of the unmistakable rise of the hyper-athletic wing who could dominate a game through sheer force of will. It was an era defined by toughness, where space was limited, defenses were unforgiving, and every possession felt like a battle. In that unforgiving landscape, Corey Maggette wasn't just another player. He was a literal titan among men, often referred to as Maximus, due to a physique that looked far more like that of a professional bodybuilder than a traditional basketball player. Maggette stood out the moment he stepped onto the floor. His combination of raw strength, explosive athleticism, and relentless aggression made him one of the most polarizing and physically imposing scorers of his era. He was a player who didn't just accept contact, he sought it out, embraced it, and thrived in it. Maggette was a man who lived at the free throw line, a player who treated drawing fouls almost like a craft or a secondary hobby, and a scoring machine who on any given night could seemingly roll out of bed and give you 20 points without hesitation. Known for his relentless north-south style of attack, Maggette didn't concern himself with the finesse of elaborate crossovers or the aesthetic beauty of a step-back jumper. His game was direct, forceful, and unapologetically physical. He wanted to go through your chest, not around you. For 14 long seasons, he remained a constant presence in the league, particularly during the gritty and often overlooked years of the Los Angeles Clippers' resurgence. While he is frequently associated with the infamous bad porn nickname, coined by a journalist who suggested that his game featured a lot of scoring and penetration, but lacked a satisfying finish in terms of team success. That label arguably undersells and oversimplifies the true nature of his impact. It ignores the sheer volume, efficiency, and consistency of his scoring ability. Today, we aren't just looking at highlights or surface-level narratives. We are taking a deeper look, examining the meticulous construction of a professional bucket getter, one of the most physically unique scorers the league has ever seen. Section 1. Birth and Early Life. Corey Antoine Maggette entered the world on November 12, 1979, in Melrose Park, Illinois. Growing up in the greater Chicagoland area during the late 70s and throughout the 80s meant being born into the very epicenter of a basketball revolution that was just beginning to take shape. Just a few miles away, a young Michael Jordan was in the early stages of redefining the sport at Chicago Stadium, and for a young Corey, basketball wasn't just a pastime, it was woven into the very fabric of the city's identity. Melrose Park itself was a working-class environment, a place where toughness wasn't optional, it was expected. The local basketball courts weren't just places to play, they were proving grounds where physicality, resilience, and grit were tested daily. From a very young age, Corey stood out in a way that went beyond simply being more athletic than other kids. He was in many ways a physical anomaly. Even as a child, his muscle density, coordination, and natural explosiveness were far beyond what you would typically expect for someone his age. His father played a key role in his early development, encouraging him not to limit himself to just basketball. Corey participated in multiple sports, including track and field, and that experience proved to be foundational. Track taught him the mechanics of acceleration, balance, and explosive movement, tools that would later become central to his basketball identity. By the time he reached the age of 10, Corey had already begun to develop the bully ball mentality that would define his career. He wasn't just playing the game, he was imposing himself on it. Section 2. Middle School Years. By the time Corey transitioned into middle school, the quiet whispers circulating in the Chicago suburbs about his talent had grown into a full-blown roar. Attending schools in the Bellwood and Melrose Park area, Maggette often looked like a grown man competing against children. His physical advantage was undeniable, but what made him truly special was how he paired that strength with coordination and intent. By the 7th grade, he was already dunking the basketball, an almost unheard of feat at that level, which quickly turned ordinary middle school games into must-see events. Crowds would gather in small gymnasiums just to catch a glimpse of the young phenom who was redefining expectations. During this time, Corey developed an almost obsessive commitment to improvement. He began weight training far earlier than most of his peers, building a foundation of strength that would later become one of his defining characteristics. In local AAU circuits, he quickly became a household name, not just for his highlights, but for his relentless motor. Understanding that he wanted to dominate from the perimeter, Corey worked tirelessly on his ball handling and his first step. He didn't want to be confined to the paint. He wanted space to build momentum, to attack defenders head-on, and to dictate the terms of engagement. These middle school years became the forge where his identity as a slasher, aggressive, direct, and physical, was truly shaped and solidified. Section 3. High School. The Fenwick Legend. Corey Maggette attended Fenwick High School in Oak Park, Illinois, and it was here that his transformation from local sensation to national superstar truly took place. As a member of the Fenwick Friars, he wasn't just good, he was dominant in a way that commanded attention on a national scale. By his senior season, Corey was putting up remarkable numbers: 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. But those statistics only told part of the story. On the court, he was a human highlight reel, capable of electrifying dunks, powerful drives, and plays that seemed to physically overwhelm his opponents. He led Fenwick deep into the state playoffs, reaching the quarterfinals and solidifying the program's place in the spotlight. His list of accolades was extensive and well-earned. He was named a McDonald's All-American, a first-team parade All-American, and was widely regarded as one of the top 5 recruits in the highly competitive 1998 class. College programs across the country pursued him aggressively, but ultimately, Corey chose to attend Duke University, where he would join one of the most prestigious programs in college basketball under the legendary coach Mike Krzyzewski. Section 4. Duke University, the one-year sensation. Corey's time at Duke was brief, but it was undeniably impactful. During the 1998 to 1999 season, he joined a roster that was absolutely loaded with talent, one of the deepest and most skilled teams in college basketball history. Even as a freshman surrounded by experienced upperclassmen, Maggette's athleticism immediately stood out. In limited minutes, just 17.8 per game, he still managed to average 10.6 points and 3.9 rebounds. His efficiency, energy, and ability to change the pace of a game made him an invaluable contributor. He earned a spot on the ACC All-Rookie team and played a key role in Duke's run to the national championship game. More importantly, his single season at Duke marked a turning point in basketball culture. By declaring for the NBA draft after just 1 year, Maggette became one of the early examples of what would later become the one-and-done pathway, a trend that would reshape college basketball for decades to come. Section 5. NBA Career. The definitive year-by-year, 1999 to 2000. The Heart and Hustle Rookie, Orlando Magic. Corey was selected 13th overall in the 1999 NBA Draft by the Seattle Supersonics. But before he could even put on the uniform, he was traded on draft night to the Orlando Magic. It was an early reminder that the NBA is as much a business as it is a game. He arrived in Orlando and became part of a team that would soon earn the nickname Heart and Hustle under head coach Doc Rivers, a group defined not by superstar talent, but by effort, chemistry, and relentless competitiveness. As a rookie, Maggette immediately showcased his elite athleticism and fearless approach. He appeared in 77 games, averaging 8.4 points and 3.9 rebounds, numbers that only hinted at his long-term potential. What stood out wasn't just the stats, it was the way he played. Every drive to the basket felt intentional, every possession an opportunity to impose himself physically. On January 3, 2000, he dropped a season-high 20 points against Detroit, offering a glimpse into the scorer he would eventually become. His rookie year was defined by raw energy, explosive flashes, and the early formation of a habit that would define his career, getting to the free throw line at an elite rate. 2000 to 2001, the new era in LA, Los Angeles Clippers. In a major offseason move designed to clear cap space for Orlando's pursuit of Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady, Maggette was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. The move placed him on a young, exciting roster that included Lamar Odom, Darius Miles, and Quentin Richardson, a group that would soon become known for its energy, personality, and highlight-driven style of play. For Corey, this season was about establishing identity. He wasn't just another young player. He was building a reputation as one of the most physically imposing wings in the league. He averaged 10.0 points per game, steadily carving out a role through hustle, strength. His national profile rose significantly during the 2001 Slam Dunk Contest, where he stunned audiences by attempting a front flip before a dunk, an unforgettable display of both confidence and athletic daring. While the Clippers were known for their flair and flash, Maggette stood apart as the embodiment of power within that system. 2001 to 2002, the six-man evolution. Maggette began the season coming off the bench as a high-energy reserve, but it didn't take long for his production to demand a larger role. Over the course of the season, he forced his way into the starting lineup, eventually starting 52 games. His scoring jumped to 11.4 points per game, and more importantly, his efficiency and understanding of the game began to evolve. On February 12th against the New York Knicks, he delivered one of the most efficient performances of his young career, shooting 9 for 11 from the field. It was a clear indication that his game was expanding beyond raw athleticism. He was learning how to control defenders, how to use his strength to draw contact, and how to turn aggression into calculated scoring opportunities. His rebounding also improved to 3.7 per game, signaling a growing versatility. This was the year he transitioned from athletic prospect to legitimate contributor. 2002 to 2003, Maximus is born. This season marked a true breakout, what can only be described as the leap year of Corey Maggette's career. He increased his scoring average dramatically, jumping to 16.8 points per game, and began to establish himself as one of the league's most difficult perimeter players to defend. He recorded his first career 30-point game against the Chicago Bulls, a symbolic moment given his roots in Illinois. Additionally, he began developing a reliable three-point shot, connecting at a solid 35% clip, which added another dimension to his offensive arsenal. But more than anything, this was the season where the Maximus identity fully took shape. At around 225 pounds of muscle, Maggette became a nightmare matchup. Too strong for guards, too quick for forwards. His 456 free throw attempts ranked among the highest for perimeter players, emphasizing his unique style. By starting 54 games, he firmly established himself as a foundational piece for the Clippers moving forward. 2003 to 2004, entering the elite tier. Maggette officially crossed into elite scoring territory during this season, averaging 20.7 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. He wasn't just a scorer anymore, he was a complete offensive weapon. With Elton Brand anchoring the interior, Maggette had the freedom to attack from the wings, and he took full advantage of it. His playmaking improved noticeably as he became more comfortable reading defenses and creating opportunities for teammates. In April, he hit a dominant stretch, scoring over 30 points in 3 consecutive games, showcasing his ability to take over offensively. By the end of the season, he ranked in the top 10 in the NBA in both free throws made and attempted. His north-south attack had become nearly impossible to stop without fouling, and defenses across the league struggled to find answers. 2004 to 2005, the statistical peak. This season stands as the statistical pinnacle of Maggette's career. He averaged a career-high 22.2 points, along with 6.0 rebounds, putting together the most complete offensive season of his time in the league. Night after night, he consistently pressured defenses, forcing them into difficult decisions and frequent fouls. Attempting an incredible 10.0 free throws per game, Maggette fully embraced his identity as a contact-driven scorer. On April 12, 2005, he delivered a signature performance against the Denver Nuggets, pouring in 38 points in dominant fashion. Despite his individual brilliance, the Clippers fell short of the playoffs, and many analysts considered him one of the most glaring all-star snubs in the Western Conference. He finished the season with 1,464 total points, the highest total of his career, cementing it as his peak year. 2005-2006, the playoff breakthrough. Injuries limited Maggette to just 32 regular season games, where he still managed to average 17.8 points per game. However, this season would ultimately be defined not by the regular season, but by what happened in the playoffs. The Clippers made a historic postseason run, securing their first playoff series victory since relocating to Los Angeles. In the Western Conference semifinals against the Phoenix Suns, Maggette played a crucial role as a physical counterbalance to Phoenix's fast-paced offense. In Game 4, he delivered a pivotal 25-point performance, helping swing momentum in the series. It was a defining moment that proved he could perform under the brightest lights and highest pressure. 2006-2007, the Iron Man performance. Maggette appeared in 75 games this season, his highest total in years, demonstrating durability and consistency. He averaged 16.9 points per game and remained a steady offensive presence despite ongoing trade rumors and roster instability. One of his most memorable performances came on April 12th against the Lakers, where he scored 39 points on just 15 field goal attempts. His ability to draw fouls was on full display as he went 17 of 20 from the free throw line. It was one of the most efficient scoring performances in franchise history, and a perfect example of how his style could completely control a game. 2007-2008, the farewell to Staples. In his final season with the Clippers, Maggette delivered one of the best scoring campaigns of his career. He averaged 22.1 points per game and shot a career-best 38.4% from beyond the arc, showcasing his evolution into a true three-level scorer. By this point, he had refined every aspect of his offensive game. He could drive, shoot, draw fouls, and stretch the floor. When he departed, he left behind a legacy as one of the top 5 scorers in franchise history, having played a key role in transforming the Clippers from perennial underachievers into a competitive and respected team. 2008-2009, we believe in the Bay, Golden State Warriors. After signing a 5-year, $50 million deal, Maggette joined the Golden State Warriors and entered the fast-paced world of Don Nelson's Nelly ball system. The style suited him well, allowing him to attack in transition and exploit mismatches in space. He averaged 18.6 points and 5.5 rebounds in 51 games, including a standout 38.9 rebound performance against Milwaukee early in the season. While injuries and inconsistency plagued the team overall, Maggette remained a reliable and aggressive scoring option throughout. 2009-2010, the master of efficiency. This season may have been the most underrated of Maggette's entire career. He shot an exceptional 51.6% from the field, an elite mark for a high-usage perimeter player, and averaged 19.8 points per game. Serving as a veteran presence, he played alongside a young rookie point guard named Stephen Curry. Maggette's ability to score efficiently without dominating the ball created space for Curry to develop, making him an important, though often overlooked, part of that early Warriors foundation. During this season, he also surpassed the 13,000-point milestone for his career. 2010-2011, the Milwaukee specialist. Traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, Maggette adjusted to a more structured, defense-oriented system. He averaged 12.0 points and 3.6 rebounds over 67 games, embracing a more situational offensive role. Despite reduced usage, he remained capable of explosive scoring nights, including a 29-point performance against Toronto. On a team built around discipline and defense, Maggette provided a much-needed offensive spark. 2011-2012, leadership in Charlotte, Charles Bobcats. Joining the Charlotte Bobcats during a rebuilding phase, Maggette took on the role of veteran leader. In a lockout-shortened season, he averaged 15.0 points in 32 games. Despite the team's struggles, he remained a consistent scoring option, often facing the opponent's best defenders. On March 28th, he scored 29 points against the Knicks, proving that even late in his career, his scoring instincts and physical style remained effective. 2012-2013, the final chapter, Detroit Pistons. Maggette's final NBA season came with the Detroit Pistons, where he was traded in exchange for Ben Gordon. Injuries limited him to just 18 games, but his impact extended beyond the stat sheet. As a veteran presence, he provided leadership and guidance to a young roster, helping shape the next generation of players. He retired with 13,198 career points and 4,605 made free throws, numbers that highlight his unique ability to score through contact and consistency over time. Section 6, Post-NBA Journey. Following his retirement, Corey transitioned smoothly into broadcasting, becoming a recognizable and respected voice on Los Angeles Clippers telecasts. His natural charisma, combined with a deep understanding of the game, allowed him to connect with fans in a new way. He also found success in the Big Three League, where he captured the 2018 MVP award and led his team to a championship, proving that his competitive fire and scoring ability had not faded. Off the court, Maggette has remained deeply committed to giving back. Through the Corey Cares Foundation and his Flight 50 basketball camps, he has invested time and resources into uplifting communities in both Chicago and Los Angeles, ensuring that the next generation has opportunities to succeed. Corey Maggette was more than just an imposing physical presence. He was a master of his craft, a player who fully embraced the realities of a contact-driven era and turned them into an advantage. Over 14 seasons, he demonstrated that understanding your strengths and relentlessly applying them could carve out a lasting legacy. From the playgrounds of Illinois to the bright lights of Staples Center and beyond, he embodied the spirit of Maximus, a relentless competitor who approached every game like a battle. His career serves as a reminder that greatness doesn't always come in conventional forms. It can also come through power, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to your identity. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life and career of Corey Maggette. If you enjoyed this expanded breakdown, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Behind the Basketball for more in-depth stories from across the NBA.